What's up, guys? Johnny525 here, and I am back with another episode of Road to 100. I've been on hiatus for a few weeks. I've had some issues. I've had some PVR issues. I'm sure you guys noticed in the first couple videos there was a few video glitches, some screen tears going on. Thought I had a defective PVR. We thought it was a defective encoder, and it turned out to be a problem with some software not liking each other, not configuring properly. Got that straightened out. Also had a few internet issues. Things weren't working right. Got that straightened out. So we're back, and we should be back weekly from now on. We'll also be putting out some review and achievement guides here pretty shortly. That'll be a whole nother show, though. Lots to talk about this week. But first off, we've got a 53-8 gameplay on Encore again. For this gameplay, I am running with the Peacekeeper with the slick new dragon camo you can see here. And I am running with a quick draw handle, FMJ, and fast mags with hardline for my first perk. Second perk I am running cold-blooded with scavenger, and for the third perk I am running dexterity. No lethals and no tacticals for this gameplay. Score streaks I am running the VSAT, K9, and Swarm, which you will see plenty of later. Lots and lots to talk about since my last episode. We've had Call of Duty Ghost announced for a November 5th release date. We've seen some clips from it. We've seen a teaser trailer. Got some info. The main big piece of info that we've received that I like is we're finally going to have customizable characters. I'm very, very excited for that. We'll see how much exactly they let you customize your character. I would like to see different face paints and helmets and clothing for sure. I'm sure we will get most of that. We've also had the Xbox One announced. Taking a lot of heat. Microsoft's taking a lot of heat for that one. They're taking a lot of heat for their digital rights media that they're putting out. They've taken a lot of heat for the not always online, but connect once a day. If you have to connect once a day, you might as well always be online. Personally, I don't have a problem with either of those. I generally do buy new. I budget, as most people should, to support my habit and my need for games. They've also come out and said that they are going to have some sort of special arrangement with major retailers, more than likely GameStop. I'm sure they will have some sort of special relationship with, whether or not they will include a code in the box to give you access to the game. Or another thought was some things we saw at E3 this week. I don't know how many of you watched the Microsoft briefing, but they had a section right after they announced Killer Instinct and they promoted that a little bit. They had a section where they were playing one game and they had a friend come online that wanted to play a round of Killer Instinct, and they wanted to show off how a game invite would load in the background while you were playing your current game, and then you could immediately jump over into that game invite, into that lobby, and start playing a round of Killer Instinct. And that put off a few bells and whistles in my head, and if I'm correct, then the digital rights media, the DRMs, and the always online or the once a day connectivity is going to make perfect sense. And if I'm correct, I'm very excited for this. But what it sounds like to me, what it looks like, is we already know that you have to install the game to the hard drive to play. But I haven't heard anything or seen anything that specifically states the game has to be in the drive to play. Unlike the 360, you can download to your hard drive, but you have to have the disc in the tray in order to play the game. Now, if you can immediately switch like that, they haven't said anything about having to get up and change discs. They've never said anything about having to change discs to access your instant media, and that's what they're pushing. They're pushing instant. They want you to be able to switch from whatever you're doing to whatever you want to do back to whatever you were doing without any hassles. So it makes perfect sense to me to have that disc linked to that Xbox One if you're going to be able to do that. If you can play off the hard drive without having to have the disc in the tray, then having that digital rights media and having that disc linked makes perfect sense to me. And then I imagine if you go and trade in your game at GameStop, as soon as they scan that and they finalize that trade-in or that sale, it's going to pull that access, pull that link from your Xbox One so that you can no longer play it while you don't have the disc. Things like that make perfect sense to me. And that would allow you to share that game with one friend, as they have said. That friend will be able to play that game for X amount of time or infinite amount of time if they're on your console. All users on your console will have access to the game. So if I'm correct there, and you don't have to have the disc in the tray to play the game, you just have to download it to the hard drive, then all the DRM, the connect once a day to verify that you still have that game. I mean, if you go trade in a game and you're not connected, then how are they going to know if you still physically own that copy of the game? That all makes perfect sense to me. If that's the case, if I'm correct, then I have absolutely zero problem with the once-a-day connectivity and the DRMs. I'm connected 24/7 anyways. I have a constant internet connection. Now sure, if internet goes down and you want to play your Xbox One, you're going to be out of luck. But in today's society, how often and for how much of a prolonged period is your internet down? I know since I've had my internet provider, I've had issues, but my issues tend to be with my modem. I go through modems like crazy. In fact, I'm on my 4th modem right now in the last 2 years, and I'm still having a few problems, but everything is definitely better than what it was. But once I decide to dig deeper into the issue, I'll likely be on my 5th modem at that point. But that's all, you know, I've got 8 or 10 electronic devices all hooked up within a 12-foot radius, and I know you're not supposed to keep your modem any closer than 6 feet away from your computer or other electronic devices, and that's not really feasibly possible for me. So that's likely part of the problem I have with my modems. But so it's a growing pain. It's a pain that I have to deal with. And back to the Xbox One and everything that everybody's upset about. They felt like Microsoft was putting the games on the back burner, and they were pushing all this other stuff, you know, fantasy football stats and baseball stats while you're watching the game, and instant updates and all things like that. But if you read between the lines and you pay attention to what they're trying to achieve and what they're pulling off, it all makes perfect sense to me, and I am completely excited for that. I think those are great ideas. Once again, if I'm correct, this is my speculation. They've announced a vague release date of November with a $500 price tag, $499, and a lot of people kind of jumped back at that, and then Sony came out and was like $399, and everybody's like, oh yay, $399, you're $100 cheaper than fucking Microsoft. And a lot of people didn't pay attention that $399 price tag was without the camera setup, the sensor bar, the PlayStation Move, or whatever they're going to call it with PS4. A lot of people didn't pay attention to that. So if you imagine you want the whole setup, like you're going to get straight out of the box day one with the Xbox One, you want the camera, you want everything, then you're likely going to have to pay an extra $100 or possibly $150 or more to get that camera bar. So you're already looking at a price tag well above $500. And a lot of people are excited that there's no DRMs, or DRMs will be up to third-party developers with PlayStation 4, and sure, that's all fine and dandy, but like I said, I generally buy new anyways, and I don't have a problem with what Microsoft's doing. I don't have a problem with any developer saying we want money we want to see a cut of those used sale profits. why shouldn't they? I mean, support your industry. If you love games, you love gaming, you love the industry, support the industry. You know, buy new. Trade in your old, sure. Allow people that just flat out can't afford to buy new, to buy used. But you know, don't hate on the industry for just trying to make up some of that lost money. I mean, these games cost millions of dollars to make for us to enjoy, and you know, the good ones are well worth that. So it looks like I am out of time. That is my rant for the day. I will have more soon, and next week definitely for sure. That's it for me, Johnny525, guys. Please like us on Twitter and follow us on Facebook, and like this video and subscribe.